If you're a guitar player, you probably own one of these. And if you're like me, keeping all your gear neatly organized can be a challenge, especially if you play a lot of shows. But whether you're a seasoned guitarist or a beginner diving into pedals for the first time, keeping your pedal board organized can save you a whole lot of trouble. So welcome to how to organize your pedal board. First things first, let's talk power. If you want a reliable pedal board, you're gonna need a reliable power supply. I'm going to be using the Palmer PWT 08 MK2 to provide clean and consistent power to all my pedals, reducing noise and ensuring optimal performance. The PWT 08 MK2 is the updated version of the beloved PWT 08, which basically everyone has had on their pedal board by now. It has 6 isolated center negative 9-volt outlets, 300 mA each, and 2 single isolated variable voltage outlets from 6 to 18 volts with 500 mA each, which is pretty cool. DC cables and power adapter included. You can get this power supply for around 130 bucks. So let's get this puppy on there. I'm going to be using these rubber straps that came with my pedal board, but you can also get them separately. Now, before actually wiring up the pedals, let's talk about pedal order a little bit. This is a logical signal chain order. Typically, you would go from your guitar into your tuner and then through your various effects and out to your amplifier. There's pretty much a never-ending debate about the pedal order, but the general conscious is tuner first, then overdrive or distortion effects, then you go into any kind of modulation. So I have a chorus right here and a delay at the end. This is pretty much the standard typical pedal order to put your distortion before your modulation, because if you switch those, it can get a little messy, but I do encourage you to try different combinations in the name of guitar science. Now I'm going to quickly connect the pedals to each other using these patch cables. There's really not much to say here. Just make sure you get the right cable length and cable angle for your pedal board setup. Now our pedal board's looking nice and tidy from the front, but from the back it can use a little bit of work. Now there's lots of different approaches of tackling this mess. What I see people do regularly is either just leave it as it is, which I cannot bring myself to do, or use these standard like plastic cable ties. I actually recommend you not to use these because these are one way. These are basically one use. You put them like that and then they hold it, but if you want to open them, you would have to get a clipper and open it up again. And that's no good when you're on stage and need to get things done in a hurry. What I advise you to use are Velcro cable ties like these that you can open up again really easily. My number one way of going about this is to take the first cable, take them all in order so they're not tangled up with each other. Take the first cable and then you just follow the natural curl that the cable has, kind of like this. And then you go to where the cable is supposed to go, which in that case would be my tuner, which is located right here. Get it through here, put it into the tuner, and now the leftover cable, I'm just gonna take that. I'm kind of gonna, as I said, get that back into its original shape, kind of like this right here. And now I'm gonna put it, most pedal boards will have these nudges where you can actually put the cables in a little bit. I'm gonna take my Velcro cable tie and I'm gonna go around and then close it up like this. Make it nice and tight, but not too tight. You could actually damage your cables that way. And then just go around town with it and put it on neatly like this. You can do some like micro adjustments if you don't want the cable sticking out from the other side or something, but it should look something like this and you should be good to go. Just do that to the rest of the cables as well. So now we're all done. We got 5 Velcro ties for 5 cables. This process can actually be a little tedious and tricky to get right. Mine isn't perfect by any means, but it definitely keeps the cables organized, keeps them out of the way. And the best thing is when I need to fix a cable, say one breaks when I'm on stage, and I could just go untie it and then get to the cable right away, like so. Don't worry if you don't get it perfect. This is very hard to get perfect, and sometimes it's straight up impossible because it is a limited space and there are a lot of cables. There is gonna be a little bit of clutter. That's just the nature of a pedal board. As long as you're able to undo those Velcro ties and keep those cables out of the way when moving the pedal board around and playing live, you're in the good. So that's our pedal board now, and as you can see, if I pick it up now, there's not going to be any cables dangling from it except for the power cable of the power supply, obviously. Another tip is if you want to get it even more neat and even more organized, you can also get power cables with different lengths for the different pedal positions and label them if you're planning to deconstruct your pedal board. That makes it a lot easier to keep it organized. So with your new optimized and organized pedal board, you can now focus on what's really important, your guitar playing.